Okay, the frame has all been welded up. I did the corners, I ground them down smooth. They're all done. I just got this cross member here to add to the middle as well, and give support to the center of the table. It's probably strictly not required, but I don't think it'll hurt. Certainly it'll give the table a bit more mass. Obviously it'll support the tabletop in the center properly also. That's it. I just clean that up and then I can do the other side. I'm not going to bother to tack this. I've got it all clamped up. It should be okay. I'll just go ahead and weld all 4 of the inside corners. Now I'm going to get ready to weld these brackets on. I made these brackets from this piece of scrap metal. It's 1/8 inch steel, 2 inches wide. These are about 4 inches long. And what these do is they hold the legs on. Now I'm making the legs for this out of wood. There are a couple of reasons why I'm doing that. One of them, probably one of the better ones, is that I don't have enough steel. I don't have enough free steel to do it. But I do have these nice 4x4s here. They're cedar. They've been laying in my shop ever since my brother gave them to me, I don't know, about 1.5 years ago. And they're really not much good for anything else. They got nail holes in them. They're in kind of rough shape. I planed them down, chamfered the corners, and so that's what I'm going to use them for. They basically go right in the corner like that. And then these brackets will get welded on each side, on the inside, and then I'll use these lag screws to bolt through the plate into the leg. So right now I'm going to flip the frame over and start lining these up. And then I made 2 different types of brackets. This one will go here, and the holes are offset from those. You can see that they're on different, so that when you put the bolts in, they don't hit each other. That's one of those things you have to watch for. The bracket's going to stick in because it's the same width as this, but this has this round over here. Also, I chamfered the edge of the post, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the bracket in so that it's even with the start of that round over. Wooden legs are not as strong as steel, obviously, but they do have the advantage of dampening vibration. If you're doing a lot of heavy pounding on this, you don't want the thing ringing like a bell. These thick wooden legs will be strong enough to support the bench and dampen that vibration. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So I'll just go ahead and finish the weld on that. I won't have the camera on for that. Okay, here's the fit up on the first one. I chamfered the corners on the end here too to clear the weld beads so that it'll go tight against the frame and tight into the bracket. Now that looks pretty good. After I did these, I checked them to make sure that they're square. That's important. If they're square, when you bolt on the legs should be square. So the next step is to finish welding on the other brackets, and then I can start bolting these legs on. Okay, all the brackets are welded on. I've got them cleaned up. I've got the legs prepared and ready to fasten. And to do that, I got a 7/32 drill bit in the drill. I'm just going to eyeball straight. Drill in. This cedar is pretty soft, so it's not hard to drill. And dry the screw. You don't have to have an impact driver for this, but it certainly helps. These are heavy screws. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and turn it and put in the rest of the screws in the 4 legs. Now I made it so that it's just got a 1-inch overhang here. I want to limit the unsupported amount of the plate. I don't want to bend it over doing something here, so just 1 inch hanging over on each side. That'll give me enough room to clamp things right to the edge here. Also, I'm free to clamp things right to the frame also with a bigger clamp. So, I don't plan on making any holes in this table for clamping or anything like that. The idea for this is mostly to fit stuff up for welding. I'm going to have a vise over here to clamp things in. I'm also going to have an anvil over in this corner to pound stuff on. And it's just going to be mainly for working metal things on. I have the top position on the frame, and I've spaced it exactly with the 1-inch overhang on all sides, and clamped it down tightly to the frame. I also laid out a grid, locations for screws. I'm going to screw this top onto the frame. I don't want to weld it. I could weld it. Welding it would be easy. The problem with welding is whenever you weld something, you potentially introduce distortion, and I want this top to stay perfectly flat. I don't want it to distort. Using the screws, a little bit more work, but the result is that it will not distort the top. I'm going to be using these screws. These are actually 12/24 hinge screws. We call these good ones because they're extremely hard screws, and they have a cutting thread on the point here. So all you need to do is drill a hole, and you can drive this right in, and it'll cut the thread. They're really good screws. So, first step, 11/64 drill bit, and then I'll drill through the top and into the frame on each one of these locations. There are 31, I think, in total. I'm going to be doing the drilling by hand, just making every attempt to hold the drill vertical. Since these will be slightly countersunk below the surface, it's not going to be a big issue if they're a little bit off. So. that's all the 11/64 holes drilled. Same bit, didn't break. I had to sharpen it 2 or 3 more times, but it made it through. These cheaper bits, they don't stay sharp for very long. Next step is to unclamp it from the frame, move it off so I can drill out the holes bigger with this step drill. Over here I tried a countersink that I had just to see how that would work out, and I'm not overly happy with that. Not to mention that I think it will probably wear out before it gets all the holes filled. So I'll start with that one since part of it's already done. I think that might be the size. See, that's just about perfect. So I'll just carry on and drill out the rest of them, and then I'll have to flip the sheet over to deburr the back and clean up the frame, put the top back on, then I can drive the screws in and secure it.